Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand in the way. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out with my guy Jay-Z. He is Justin Zwick. Rhyme time behind the glass, at least for now. Zwickster, happy Wednesday to you. How's your headphones doing? Are we better tonight than last week?
I'll tell you, buddy, it's not that much better. I don't know if it's my headset.
Maybe
but
change out your headphones right now. Change them. There's some headphones over there. There's some headphones over there. We had an issue last week which I wasn't aware of, where you're getting reverb in your headset while you're talking, which is honestly the worst thing that could happen to you, because it stalls you totally and you have no idea what you're saying, and then you're hearing yourself like 4 seconds later. So Jay-Z battled through that all week last week, and I didn't know that until 5 minutes before the show started.
I'll tell you what, I thought Beam was battling through it, and I'm sitting here just looking at him like, you are a professional. I have no idea.
It's not even phasing him.
Not even phasing him. I'm just sitting here like, I can't put a sentence together because I'm listening to myself. And I mean, then I found out today, he's like, oh, I had no idea. I was like, we talked about it. I told you this, my one story about doing TV one time. He goes, yeah, I didn't know that it was happening to you right there. I'm like, sweet.
Are those headphones better?
Yeah. Okay. I don't hear it.
I don't know. Maybe are those like battery powered or something?
No. In the first week, they worked fine.
I don't know. That's weird. Strange.
Son of a gun.
Those headphones have to go in the trash.
Well, this is much better, though.
Okay, good.
Yes,
you can put a thought together.
I can. Well, I can try anyways.
Well, you did that last week. You did a very good job. You did a good job on the post-game show. How you living, buddy? You doing all right?
Yeah, things are good. It's been a good week. Looking forward to seeing the Bobcats come into town for a little night game this weekend.
This game's got some pop, doesn't it? They had a big win
hype
over the weekend. I think message of the story, never schedule an away game in Athens, Ohio if you're a Power 4 team. Like Penn State did it multiple years back. West Virginia decided to do it. I think these Bobcats, man, they've got some punch.
They do. And I mean, in all reality, I didn't get to watch the entire Rutgers game that first week, but from what I've talked to some people, they should have probably ran away with that game too.
Yeah,
so I mean, they could be 2-0. I mean, it was 34-31. It was close, but I think they had a few things that happened where they kind of gave that game away. So, I mean, they could be 2-0 coming in this shoe. I mean, they got to have a little hype behind them, and that one last week, if they've settled down from partying all week long, because I'm sure
that's what Athens does really well.
They do that. I'm just, if the place is still standing and anybody can make it up here this weekend, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, what a game! Like, this should be fun. And I've been kind of pumping this up all off season, and people have made fun of me about it being a primetime game. I'm like, it's fine, it's good. It's OU. They're the MAC champs. They're coming into town. They're 70 miles away. They're not too far. They're the closest school that we've got. They're from the MAC. They're the reigning MAC champs. Like, this game should have a lot of pop and a lot of energy, especially given the way that their weekend ended and given the way that Ohio State's weekend ended. And we'll start there on tonight's show. Jay-Z, what did you think about Ohio State's 70-0 performance at the Horseshoe on Saturday? And what did you take away from Julian Sand? Minus the interception to the near side, he was literally perfect.
He was, and that is that's hard to do on air, a lot of times, especially when you're going downtown. He threw a couple of deep balls, a couple over the middle. The kid just seems to be seeing everything perfectly, and it really started in that Texas game, even though they didn't ask him to do a lot in that game. We came out and we've talked about it. Ryan saying we probably could have put more on his plate just because the way he handled everything. In this game, not that they put a ton on his plate, and it was almost like on air because he had plenty of time in the pocket. But
still got to throw.
But you still got to make your reads. You still got to throw it. Tip balls at the line of scrimmage. All kinds of things can happen. So for him to go 16 in a row. Wow.
Ohio State record.
Yeah, I mean, it's a record. It's his second start. He goes out and does that. And I mean, that's just, you love to see it. And the great thing about it is it wasn't as if his receivers were bailing him out. They're just running, and they put their hands right up in front of their chest, and the ball is just laid to them perfectly. It kind of reminded me of like seeing C.J. Stroud, back in the day, or Justin Fields. Like, they used to put the ball on the guys where it's like, you have to catch this.
You don't have to break stride.
Yeah, you're not breaking stride. Like, this is the easiest thing you can do is just catch this ball. And he was doing that on Saturday. So, amazing to watch him do that, continue to grow. They're going to continue to, work with him. He's going to become more confident and, more, in control of the offense. And so it's just excited to see what the rest of the year looks like. But, I mean, 70 points is a lot. It's a lot of scoring. A lot of things got to go your way.
What was the highest point total you put up when you were at Ohio State? Because we had Mike Bennett on the postgame show, and I asked him, I was like, is 70 the highest you put up for points? And he was like, we put up 76. So he was like, throwing down the hammer on Saturday on the postgame show, like, well, we put up 76, so these guys probably weren't as good as our team. And I'm like, all right, buddy, chill out. Let's relax.
Well, we definitely weren't as good as them then, because I would venture to guess the most we put up was somewhere around 35 to 42 points.
That's a good day
and
at the office.
Punt was the most important play in our playbook back in those days.
It's a little bit different nowadays.
Yeah, things are a little bit different. They like to get out there and score some points. We were not doing that back in our day. But I'm probably our senior year. We probably had a couple that we blew out just because we were pretty good then. But these offenses are different, and it was fun to watch. The defense got involved.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that could have gone right did, and I think the one main thing that went right was we walked out of there healthy.
Absolutely.
And you go into a game like that. Number one, you want to win the game. You want to work on some stuff and, get some good film. Two, you just want to get your starters, get them some reps, get them in there, keep them healthy, and we're on to the next week. So I think that's the biggest thing. And, three, you get a lot of young guys to play. And we got plenty of those young guys to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, he's Riley Pettijohn, Bo Jackson. We talked about it a lot last night with Austin. We'll check with him around 6:17 tonight. He's going to be over at the Woody. We got player availability coming up around 6:30, so we'll do that. We'll check in with Josh Perry at 6:30, and we'll do the college football pulse coming up around 6:45. When I say the stat to you, Jay-Z, we're 2 games into the season now, one against a heavily outmatched opponent in Grambling, one against the number 1 preseason team in the country in Texas. Offensive line, 0 sacks allowed, 2 TFLs. Both of those stats are number 1 in the country. What have you taken away from this offensive line play? Minus maybe we could be a little bit nitpicky on maybe the lack of explosive run plays, but that pocket on Saturday, whether it was Lincoln Keenholtz or Julian Sand or even Tavian St. Clair when he got in, and I know the game was pretty much done and dusted at that point, went 0 for 2 on the day, had a couple of nice throws, just wasn't able to complete them. The pocket and the protection seems to be really good for these quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that was one thing coming into the season where it's like, all right, well, we got a new quarterback, we got new running backs, but the inside of our offensive line is back, and we feel really good about the pieces we brought in. We had a couple transfers, and then we had Austin Sareveld kind of bumping out there and, working on different areas, not sure where he was going to end up, and then it just kind of came together. So anytime you're going into a season with 3 guys, basically 3 starters back, right, through your playoff run, in the middle of your offensive line, you're feeling pretty good. And then you get a couple tackles in, and you get a guy who ends up being your left tackle. I mean, to have these young position players like quarterbacks and running backs, and then having those guys in front of them, going against the number 1 defense in the country to start the year, and they don't give up a sack.
For those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, you were using air quotes right there.
There were air quotes, even though I think they are very solid. But everybody's walked back a little bit about how good Texas was all of a sudden after we beat them.
Well, Ohio State wasn't that good anyway. They just put up 70 points in week number 2. They're not that good.
Exactly.
It's not a tough environment. It's an easy place to play.
Yeah, it was Grambling. All right, yeah, we get it, but that's what you're supposed to do in those games, and we did it. But, yeah, the offensive line is going to be huge for us. Now, everybody can nitpick and say, where the running lanes at? We didn't get, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine, and there might be some, something to that, but I think as the year goes on and those guys continue to gel with each other, because right now, we're running guys in and out. We're switching up some, position player, guard to tackle to guard, just kind of feeling out what works best and how they gel the best. And, that's going to take some time. I mean, my sophomore year back in 20 years ago, our offensive line was way different from the start of the year than it was at the end of the year. And, it was a lot better by the end of the year. And I just I think these guys are going to continue to get better, which is kind of scary because they're pretty darn good right now.
Especially with the offensive line, right? You want that continuity. You want that language. You want to know exactly what your guy next to you is doing. And even before some snaps, right? You don't even have to talk to someone and be like, hey, all right, you don't even have to look at me the right way. You look at me one way, and I know exactly what you were thinking.
There's a lot to that. Oh, we got a double team here. You go, they will have all that stuff ironed out.
There's a guy who's pressuring. Okay, is he going to come off? Is he going to come through? What do we need to do with that? What did you make of the tight ends? Because I've said this for a long time now, especially this offseason. My New Year's football resolution was to make sure I was paying enough attention to this Ohio State tight ends room this season. They have been nothing short of spectacular.
They are great. On the live show at Roosters Monday, they got my Buckeye leaf because I've always been a fan of the tight ends, and we had 5 get receptions, 2
Ohio
scored.
State record, school record.
I mean, it's so cool because Ryan likes to bring those looks in of 3 or 4 tight ends, and it just messes with the defense.
Especially too, like when you're an opposing defense too, and maybe not necessarily for Grambling or even your own purposes, but you put all that stuff on film, that's 20, 30, 45 minutes, an hour that opposing teams are going to have to figure out, like, well, we got to prepare for this. We have to make sure that we're able to defend 14 personnel
it's like, well,
here.
here's a 4 tight end set, and, well, we thought they were going to run it, but they ran it all vertical. Like, what do you do? Because you got to bring in people to match those guys up, and it's just it's really cool. So to have that room and just the depth that we have there, and I really think, maybe our best tight ends aren't really, Max Clare, he's finding himself.
Room to grow.
Jelani Thurman, I think he's really grown, but
Agreed.
He's, I think, going to take that next step and becoming like a national guy to watch type thing, because I think he has those skill set, and he definitely has the body type and all the stuff that goes along with that. But
Nate Robertson, true freshman, getting into the game.
100%. Yeah, they're all doing great. It's just you're thinking about the older guys, Will Kazmarek, how much better he's gotten running down the field now.
First touchdown of the game.
Exactly.
Bumbling.
A nice one, Maybe didn't look the fastest, but it got the job done, and nobody gained on him. He scored, So, to have that with a good blocker too, because I think his blocking has really come a long way since he got here. But it's just a great room to have, and as a young quarterback, that was always kind of like, they're usually across the middle or right in front of you. They're big bodied. That you can maybe sneak one into
throw
them.
right into your chest.
Yeah, you can. You get into that. So it was always like a safety blanket for me, and I think having that many of them only helps Julian out that much more.
I think having that many of them and them being that talented and well coached can only help you out in Julian Sands' perspective, which he did a very nice job of on Saturday, and we're all looking forward to the game on Saturday coming up against the reigning MAC champion Ohio Bobcats. Austin Ward, he's going to join us live from the Woody coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
The Ohio Lottery's new $5 scratch-off Win Big has a top prize of $100,000. And with the Ohio Lottery app, all non-winning tickets can be entered into a My Lotto Rewards second chance promotion to win Cleveland or Cincinnati football tickets, or even a trip to football's biggest game. And that's more exhilarating than a cooler of sports drink dumped on you. So exhilarating. Win big from the Ohio Lottery. A celebration waiting to happen. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
The Donato's Pep Duo Pizza is back, and it brought a pal. The Donato's Pep Duo, loaded with crispy pepperoni and 3 kinds of cheese. Now get a large Pep Duo pizza for just $14.99. Also back, Donato's deliciously dippable pepperoni cheese bread. Now on the $5 Pizza Pals menu for a limited time. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's, gotta love more.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4 or 5.75 on RAV4 Hybrid. Excludes plugins. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Hey Buckeyes, I'm John Chabot with Surest, a digital-first health plan designed to make healthcare simple and affordable right here in Ohio. At Surest, we believe healthy small businesses are vital to our economy. That's why we're ready to give your small business a VIP opportunity through our small business sweepstakes. Winners will be recognized on the sideline at an Ohio State home football game. To enter, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Surest. That's SUREST. Surest, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Sunny skies, light winds, and a perfect finish on this Wednesday. Another great day. Temperatures running around 80 degrees. Overnight, we'll fall back down to the mid-50s with a cool start on your Thursday morning, but a warmer finish. Sunny skies, light winds back in the low 80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Got my man Justin Zwick with me tonight as we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline and go live out to the Woody. Check it with our great friend. He is Austin Ward. A-Ward Sports, happy Wednesday to you. Set the scene for us. What's going on? We had a bloody Tuesday last night. We got a very intense Wednesday practice this evening. What's the scoreboard say at the Woody right now?
Yeah, that's the question, Beamer. There are 2.5 minutes left in period 16. So, as you guys recall, last week at this time, the Buckeyes were already starting to wind it down, and I had to hang up the phone a little bit early because Ryan Day was already walking off the practice field and ready to talk to us. So it does seem as if had a little bit of post-Texas lighter Wednesday work to get ready for Grambling. Although I do think we've got to give credit to, the way that the Buckeyes attacked last week and handled their business. But they got rewarded with a little bit of a shorter practice last Wednesday. Tonight, ramping it back up. You've got this third and final non-conference game against the Ohio Bobcats on Saturday night. So they're gonna push it a little bit more because then you don't play again until 2 weeks later at Washington. So 2.5 periods of practice still left on this Woody Wednesday.
Austin, who do we have speaking over at the Woody tonight from a player perspective?
Boy, Beam, we've got a jam-packed lineup. It's big. Both quarterbacks are going to be available. Those are the top two quarterbacks. You have Julian Sayin and Lincoln Keenholz. We have a Ryan Day lightning round. We've got, who else do we have? Will Kazmarek talking about his experience. I'm sure getting asked about playing his old school with Bobcats there. So I think anytime you have Julian Sayin, that's going to soak up a lot of the attention. But you've got Carnell Tate, you've got Brandon Ennis, a pretty good mix of guys there on both sides of the football. I think maybe 8 or 9 Buckeyes. So I'm leaving some out here, but a pretty full list. And I think that's also partially because of what I mentioned with next week being an off week. We're probably not going to talk to a lot of Buckeyes as they go through that improvement week. Not had a lot of player availability during that stretch, which is totally fine and totally understandable. So I think we'll probably be trying to load up on some content for post-Ohio coverage next week.
You were talking about, the guys you have coming on, not any younger guys, which I guess is not something they do a ton of. But after that game last week with all the young guys that got play, who would you want to talk to tonight? Which young guy who got a lot of play time last week if you hadn't had a chance to this week already, who would you want to, get after and see what their thoughts were on getting their first, big snaps in the shoe?
Yeah, Jay-Z, I think I'm enamored by what Riley Pettijohn can be at linebacker. And so I know that, you guys have a chance after a lot of games to talk to James Laurinaitis.
Yep.
I'd love to talk to both James and Riley Pettijohn about, what this process is like, because he looks so physically advanced, and the way he stuffed the stat sheet against Grambling, like, that's not an easy thing for any true freshman to do. That was his debut. He didn't play against Texas outside of a couple snaps of special teams. So you're in a spot where I don't know if it becomes frustrating because that you're good enough to play at Ohio State, but you're behind Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, and I don't ever like to put it in those terms where it sounds like it's a negative, but
that's the reality of it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that he's not working or that he wasn't ready to go out there and perform. But Justin can relate to that, going through his career as an athlete. Like, you never really want to wait. You want to see some of the rewards, and I think it's more of a matter of you're not going to start. How are you going to handle that? It's more, what can Ohio State maybe do to get Riley Pettijohn involved, because I think that there's a distinct opportunity and a path to that, whether that's the third linebacker, fourth linebacker. I mean, you could include Peyton Pierce in this, like Riley Pettijohn is behind him as well. What do those defensive looks look like? We talk so much about Matt Patricia and the versatility and flexibility and finding roles. Like, what does Riley Pettijohn view his role being for Ohio State moving forward? And that can change over time. Last week he got to play a little over a half of football and was phenomenal. But that's just the start. So where does he still have to go? What does he have to prove to James? I would love to talk some to Riley Pettijohn right now, and I think we're all pretty much, in agreement that the potential of Bo Jackson was on display last week. What was the coaching message like for him coming to the sideline after that ball hits the ground, and how has he tackled, or approached the last 2 days of practice here as they wind down here on a Wednesday night? He knows that he's got to protect the football, and if he does, he's going to get a lot more carries. So I can understand why we wouldn't be able to have that conversation necessarily with Bo right now, but coming out of Saturday night, maybe both of them will be in a position to talk.
Well, the good news for you, Austin, is that if you are up around midnight, maybe 12:30, which I know you will be, in the bowels of Ohio Stadium at some point, and if you turn on the postgame show with Justin Zwick and myself, you may have a great opportunity to listen from the man James Laurinaitis himself on that said postgame show. So why don't you listen to that, and we can answer all the questions that you have yearning in your brain.
Well, you know what? If I'm there, I'll probably not be in position to turn on the radio. When I say if, I mean when I'm there at 12:30.
Soft.
Maybe I will watch. I'm not leaving, all right? I'll be there. I'll watch James Laurinaitis talking to you guys on his phone, and then I will go talk to him myself for the notebook, which you can then watch on the 97.1 The Fan YouTube channel or 10 TV Plus, or you can download it anywhere you get your podcasts.
Absolutely. Good job. Good plug on that.
Yeah, so many ways.
Yeah, watch those guys. Watch those guys right after you're done watching the Buckeye Show, of course, on the fans' YouTube page. What to use the biggest question heading into OU this week, Austin?
I think what the running game looks like, as I alluded to there with Bo Jackson. I don't have concerns about the running game. I think both C.J. Donaldson and James Peoples have had moments that you look at them playing like, yeah, that's why they're here. They can give you what you need. I think you have to take Texas with a grain of salt for how good that team was and what, how buttoned up that game plan that Ryan Day and Brian Hartline settled on offensively. Like, they didn't try a lot of the perimeter stuff. They didn't get super creative with the run looks that maybe we would have wanted to see them do, or that they did do during the college football playoff run. And then, Grambling, I think you don't overreact to that either. I think that there were encouraging moments there, again, for both guys. There were certainly, 7-8 really good carries for Bo Jackson, I think, that have so much excitement generating there. But, can you sustain that? Ohio is still not the perfect barometer for that. And to be honest, Washington maybe won't be either. But, we've seen the passing attack expand already from week 1 to week 2. What does that look like as the ground game tries to get rolling and they try and find their footing and figure out what schemes and what personnel combinations work best for this iteration of Ohio State. Because at some point, once you get into the Big Ten schedule, you're going to have to be able to get the tough yardage. You're going to have a run game that you feel comfortable hanging your hat on when the going gets tough. Maybe that doesn't show up until, Illinois a month from now, or it's definitely going to be something that we're going to be paying attention to in the Big House in the last week of November. So, I think that's the part where, I don't know that it rises to the level of concern. But I think that there's certainly room for improvement, and this is another chance to see what that looks like and who might really be taking that opportunity and running with it.
So I know the Bobcats are running high right now. Coming into the shoe, give us a little breakdown on what to expect out of Ohio. I mean, how did they beat West Virginia? How did they keep it so close with Rutgers? I mean, is there anything to be worried about here?
Part of it is, they were able to keep it close in week one. Parker Navarro, Ohio's quarterback, was just running all around and making some plays with his legs that I'm not sure the Scarlet Knights were prepared for. It happened to a lesser extent. The athleticism and the dual threat abilities of him, I think that's where you start with what could give Ohio State a test, a barometer. It might look similar to the way that they handled Arch Manning and being disciplined with the rush lane and not trying to do too much. Because if you keep him in the pocket, which is what West Virginia did to some extent there in the second half, he threw 3 interceptions. So Ohio feels really good about beating a Power 4 opponent and pushing another one on the road in week one. But they, when you take a closer look at it, I think maybe there's a little bit of false bravado, which clearly is why Ohio State remains favored by almost 5 touchdowns in this game.
Don't give them any bulletin board material, Austin. Don't do it.
No, I'm not trying to. I want to give them credit for the win that they had and the fight that they showed in week one. But, and look, Rufus needs no bulletin board material from me. He's going to show up and try and knock Brutus's block off of again. So we'll see. I think, Jay-Z, it is cliche, and I hate to use that coaching cliche as a cop-out answer here, but this game is still another one that is all about Ohio State and getting out of it what it wants to emphasize. And I think that that's going to be this week more based on the ground game and focusing on those guys on the defensive front and what they can do. I think there's room to tighten up that rush defense. There's an ability that they could maybe get off after the passer a little bit more, but you have to do that maybe cautiously or in moderation, because Parker Navarro's legs they're going to maybe be the one thing that could stress Ohio State in this game on Saturday night. And that's, if you get Logan George back to maybe help with that, which I think Ohio State is expecting, that'll be another interesting wrinkle to pay attention to.
Quickly, before we get you out of here and you go to media availability, does Brutus have player availability tonight, Austin? Is he speaking for the 15-year rematch against Rufus tonight, or are we waiting till Saturday to do that?
He declined all media requests. He's locked in on this situation.
Nice.
It is Rufus Brutus too, and I think we've all been waiting for the rematch of the century. It is like Ross Bjork has incorporated, or the athletic department as a whole, incorporated some mascot skits and like engaging things down there in the north end zone for the first couple of weeks. Right. You got to be careful with that this week, because Rufus will take it too far.
Yeah, keep your head on a swivel.
He's a bobcat. He doesn't know any different, Austin. He's a wild animal. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Have a great time over at the Woody tonight, and we will talk again. I'll see you on Tuesday, all right?
That sounds great. See you guys.
There he goes. Austin Ward with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Joshua Perry, he's going to react to everything in Week 2 in college football with us coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Hello, it's Robin Roberts here.
Hey guys, it's George Stephanopoulos here.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Strahan here. Wake up with Good Morning America.
Robin, George, Michael, GMA, America's favorite #1 morning show. The morning's first breaking news, exclusive interviews, what everyone will be talking about that day. Put some good in your morning and start your day with GMA.
Good Morning America.
Tomorrow morning starting at 7 on ABC 6.
Built by tradition, driven by Saturdays. Dave Holmes, Beanie Wells, and Cardale Jones host The Script, a new show covering the Ohio State story from the guys who wrote it.
You'll call me a homer in this situation, I know. Here we go.
With big opinions.
Why in the world would you not want a primetime game of this magnitude?
And real talk from real Buckeyes.
Yes, they're ducking the smoke. Coming in hot. Oh, my God.
New episodes every week. The Script, wherever you get your podcasts.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Got Justin Zwick with me tonight. Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, checking with our great friend. You can see him on the big desk on NBC. Every college football Saturday, he is the venerable Joshua Perry. JP, how you feeling? How's the family doing? You guys still in the trenches? What's happening? Give me the scene.
Big trenches. All is well, though.
Okay.
Excited for everybody to have their Peacock subscriptions ready to rock and roll this Saturday so they can watch the Buckeyes.
Absolutely. I've got it ready to rock. Jay-Z's got it ready to rock. We'll be watching here on the computers in the studio. It's going to be all good. Looking forward to seeing your smiling face on the desk as well. What were your biggest takeaways, JP, from Ohio State's 70-0 thrashing of Grambling on Saturday?
I mean, it's so hard to have takeaways, but clean ball, right? Like, I think that's the important thing. You go out there and you handle business. And there have been plenty of schools, Clemson being one of them. I would even maybe throw LSU in there where it's like, ugly kind of slog of a weekend. So you handle business, but you also get a young quarterback some valuable reps. I think any game reps at this point are valuable. He was extra efficient. You saw the arm that everybody had been just really excited about leading up to the season. And so I would say those are probably my two biggest takeaways is these guys are mature enough to go out there in a game where it's very easy to not be engaged, and they were fully engaged. But also, your quarterback got to play, and he played extremely well.
Well, it's surprising to hear you go to the quarterback. I guess not really, because he was 16-16 at some point. But, the talk a lot around here has been, this young linebacker, Riley Pettijohn. You played the position. Can we play 4 linebackers at one time? Because I feel like we just got a stacked room there. But what do you take from, any of the young guys that you saw that got some play time on Saturday? Something to, grow from, and, what did you think about any of those guys you saw jumped out at you?
I mean, they're good, right? And it's like, it's the wild part about it is I think sometimes we forget how much just raw talent is waiting there in the wings for when it's their time. These aren't guys that are, Pettijohn, for example, not a guy that's anticipated to have to play a ton this year. Also, if he ended up in a situation where he did, I think people would feel really good about that because he's extremely talented. I think you can look at other positions. At running back, it was Bo Jackson that had the big day. And you hear the conversations about the running back rotation. His name is not in there a ton. Maybe the staff is trying to build a little bit more trust because he's young. He doesn't do everything necessarily the right way in practice. But from a talent standpoint, it feels like the guy can play really good ball. And so it's just like the wild thing about Ohio State, even in the day and age of transfer portal and name, image, and likeness, where a lot of other teams, Georgia would be one that I look at, Alabama to a certain extent, another that I look at, that it seemed just had talent everywhere and there was never a void on the roster. It's like these guys are so talented everywhere that something happens. Maybe a guy's got to miss a game because he's got a nagging injury. You don't feel like you're going to miss a beat.
He is Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Just from a Riley Pettijohn perspective, while we're on it, JP, can you describe how difficult that is to do as a freshman, coming in, working your way through winter workouts, grinding through spring ball, got summer workouts, going through fall camp? And I know it was just it was like a flash in the pan, right? Like we saw it for a half, but I know he's been playing special teams. Just the adjustment level to go from high school to big-time college football playing at Ohio State and making that much of an impact. How difficult is that to do at the backer position?
It's hard. I mean, playing ball, in college is hard in general. I know this wasn't a big game, but being prepared to be a Big Ten linebacker is difficult. Your body's got to go through some changes. You have to grasp a scheme that isn't necessarily the most simple. And it's not like they had the full playbook out there because they needed to get the stops on Saturday, but still the idea of getting lined up and making the right calls and making the adjustments and seeing what the offense is doing and then ultimately getting to the right spot to be at the point of attack to make a play is extremely difficult. I go back to my time as a freshman, and I don't know why I thought I'd just walk in and everything was going to be cool, but it didn't take me very long to realize that I wasn't big enough, I wasn't physical enough, I wasn't in the mental headspace to go out there and knock heads at a place like Ohio State, and I was behind in terms of my knowledge of the game of football, schemes, X's and O's, football IQ. And so for a young player to come in, regardless of what the competition is, and to really flash like that at the linebacker position where there is a lot of the mental part of the game that comes in, it is impressive.
I think it's really impressive even throughout that game on the defensive side of the ball. I think Patricia was still calling a lot of the same things, and these young guys were seemingly picking it up and going with it. On the other side of the ball, Joshua, we talked a lot about the tight ends in this game. 5 of them had catches, a couple of them had touchdowns. How difficult is it for a defense when they see an offense bring the 4 tight end set onto the field, in different situations, not necessarily only on the goal line, but middle of the field? Like, how hard is that for a defense to plan against, I guess? I mean, what do you think when you see those big guys come in? Is it, they're going to run the ball down our throats? Or, how do you attack that?
Teams have started to go a little bit more slow because it does put a defense in a bind. You got to figure out if you're going to play nickel to 12 personnel, if you're going to be a team that plays base defense. And then obviously the offense is going to figure out which guy they want to go to. Is it more of the route runner guy or is it more of the blocking guy? I think what makes Ohio State so intriguing right now with the tight end room is Will Kazmarek became a reliable target in this game. And that's perfect to have on tape because to me at the beginning of the season, I would identify him if I was a coordinator and say, okay, this is where they're going to get into their run sets because he's a good blocker. He's more of the physical tight end. Well, now if he's in the game, I can't just say that. I've got to have somebody out there who can cover a little bit too because he showed that he's a guy who can make some plays in the pass game. But the idea of the tight end to me is the one. Even when you get into 11 personnel, if you got a Max Clare in there, you're trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to cover this guy? Is this guy somebody we try to cover with a nickel? Do we have to have a bigger body safety in there? Like, these are all the questions. And then even to do that, if I see a little dude out there, I'm definitely saying, all right, whatever the check is,
run at him.
That's what I'm going to do. The X factor there, and it makes it really difficult for defenses.
JP, from a national perspective, winners and losers this weekend, I know that we were just watching it here on the Double Barrel. USF beat Florida again. It was obviously high drama. I don't know about you, how much you tuned into that Penn State game. It was 20-0 for a long while. Penn State added a couple of touchdowns late. That offense is not clicking yet early in the season. Defense looked good, but their offense, at least for me, looks like there should be more to be yearned for in Nittany Lion land.
The offense isn't big enough. They average 6 yards per attempt, which against FIU is a miserable number. It's not a great number generally. And speaking of that number, LSU right now in the season is averaging 6 yards per attempt. They're second to last in the SEC, and all I heard about was 4-3 guys on the outside and a first-round quarterback potential Heisman winner. So I'm very curious against Florida in a spot where they need to bounce back this week exactly what they're going to look like. I know, by the way, everybody was like, LSU's run defense is great, and then Clemson goes out there and can't run it against Troy. So I would say those two guys who we felt like we learned about in week 1 might actually be the big losers from week 2 outside of Florida. Oregon, winner for me. That was just a bloodbath. Crazy what they did to Oklahoma State. USC out there on the West Coast is a team to look out for. I don't think people understand, but they're averaging like 66 points a game right now. And I know the competition they played, but they are moving the ball right now. So a lot of interesting stuff. The other one I would say, Georgia this week, look out for them. Their offense doesn't feel super explosive. They have to run the quarterback a ton to get the run game going, and that was a problem for them last year. They've got Tennessee coming up. That'll be one where we learn about either one of those teams.
Hey, before we get you out of here, are you buying or selling South Carolina? Because I'm kind of all in on the Gamecocks this year.
I'm out.
Okay.
So,
all right. That's fine. That's fine. I'm in.
Shows what you know, Beam.
Yeah, I don't know anything. That's why I asked the expert here.
So this is the interesting thing. I think they play Vanderbilt this weekend, and Vanderbilt is actually what everybody was trying to sell us that South Carolina was supposed to be in the preseason. South Carolina right now, their offensive line is bad, so they can't protect Lenora Sellers, and they've needed special teams to really save the day for them in the first 2 weeks. Vanderbilt, really bad first half against Virginia Tech, but then they outscored them 34-0 and outgained them by 300 yards in the second half of that game. This was the team that South Carolina played in week 1 on a neutral field. Vanderbilt went on the road, and they needed a punt return to really get that game going. So I'm not sure about them. I love the quarterback. I don't think he has the offensive line. I like some of the talent. Nick Harbor on offense, one of the fastest big dudes I've ever seen run. They got a complete team. I'm not sure I'm there yet.
Okay, that's fair. I guess we'll find out on Saturday between Vanderbilt and South Carolina. I didn't know that I needed to be watching that between the battle for me and you, but I guess I will be. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on here. Best of luck in the trenches here tonight. Safe travels this weekend. Looking forward to seeing you on the desk, and we'll check in again next week, all right?
All right, appreciate you guys. Take care.
There he goes, our great friend Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We got some high drama going on with referees in the Big 12. We'll do that in the College Football Pulse next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. And don't forget about our 29-degree drafts.
As a former pro athlete, confidence has always been key for me on and off the field. And that's why I chose CAP for my NeoGraft treatment. They've got a great reputation. After doing my research, I knew I could trust the team right here in town. The staff was professional, answered every question, and made the whole process smooth and stress-free. The results are natural. It fit my busy schedule, and I already feel more confident. CAPS made it easy, judgment-free, and honestly, one of the best decisions I've made. Visit CAPS today at experiencecaps.com.
Cover more ground and get more savings on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Gas-powered with a top speed of 40 miles per hour and outstanding acceleration and handling with cargo. All backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Visit your Kubota dealer and get the Kubota Sidekick for 0 down, 2.99% APR for up to 48 months and save up to $300. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. I remember seeing that CareSource heart around town and just knowing they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. And that means the world to so many children today. My name is Cardale Jones, and I was a CareSource kid.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
It's the Ohio Lottery's all-new $5, $20, or $100 scratch-off. With 3 simple cash prizes, it'll have you saying, "Wow, that's what I call winning!" With tracks like and the anthem celebrating the first of its kind $2 ticket. The $5, $20, or $100 scratch-off is an absolute hit. Ohio Lotto's got the good. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder, bringing precision, creativity, and attention to every detail, just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Scotty Vegas here. Smartest bet of the season? Bet on yourself. I needed a weight loss plan that fit into real life. Tailgates, road trips, kids' nights, and still lets you eat. Week 1 with Awaken 180, I was down 6. By the end, 45 pounds gone. That's with wings, chili, meatballs, sausages, all the good stuff. It's the Tailgate transformation. Structure, coaching, and food that tastes like a win. Make the smart play. Start your Tailgate transformation at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Finishing things up with Jay-Z tonight. Got a shorty show for you. Inside Edge coming up here at 7 o'clock. Reimer, how are you feeling, buddy? We are officially 1 week away.
Yeah, about then.
Okay, we're
Crunch
1 week
time.
away
He's
from
getting
go
there.
time. You're welcoming a...
I feel like it could come at any time, though.
Yeah, you're kind of on standby. You're welcoming a beautiful daughter into the world here any coming minute. We're still on standby. We don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow, a fun Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday next week, whatever the case may be.
We're in the last segment of tonight, though, so if it does happen tonight, we're chilling.
You're good, because we only got 7 minutes left to go. 7.5 minutes
You
left
got
to go.
plenty of time to get to the
Yeah, you're fine. You're actually closer to the hospital here than what you are
Exactly.
at home.
I would just meet them up here.
You would get there earlier than they would. How are you? How are you feeling? All right, we're a week away. Supposedly, you think it's going to happen a little bit later this week. We've had our fun.
Is there a baby?
There's a poll.
Poll or whatever they call it. Whatever they call those things.
Yeah. What is it called?
That's a good question.
Like the
pool of when
when it's going to happen.
Yeah, the baby pool. I'm all in on Friday.
Okay.
I think Friday is going to be go time for you.
That's when I think it's going to happen as well.
Are you feeling angsty? You feeling nervous, excited, all the above?
I go back and forth.
Yeah.
I think I'm right there with my wife. We're ready for the baby to be here.
Well, she's just ready to.
She's ready. If you could tell
she's
her,
a lot more ready than I am.
If you could tell her right now, be like, "Hey, let's go tonight." She'd be like, "Yeah, in."
Yes,
I'm done.
for that. Absolutely.
Done with this.
But like I go back and forth. I'm excited. It's going to be a really cool experience and to become a dad, but I am also scared, very scared.
Are you going to be in there and in the operating room or whatever the birthing room?
Yes, I will be.
Tell your
but
brother.
I do not plan to go anywhere near south of the equator.
Well.
I don't know if you have a choice.
My wife rolled her eyes so much at me because I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to pump her up.
Doing like football mode.
Yeah, like I went straight football mode because I'm like holding things. I'm like, let's go. And she's just rolling her eyes at me. I'm just like, sorry, honey. I got caught up. I don't know what to say.
I've told you this story. When I get nervous, my hands get really clammy and like cold. And so when Meredith was going through this, she's like, all right, grab my hand. She was going through like a big contraction. And so I grabbed her hand, and they were cold. She goes, "Get off of me!" And I said, "Yes, ma'am. Whatever you want, Coach." I called her Coach in there too. I'm like, "Whatever you need, I'm right here for you. I won't get within 10 feet. You don't need me to." Almost passed out a couple of times. Luckily, the nurses were like, "Hey, you stand right over here." They were pointing me just where to go. I'm like, "All right." The lights got a little bright in there for me, but you know what? It doesn't matter because you're not the star of the show. So you just do what you're told when you get in there.
There's some people that feel like I will pass out, but I'm going to try and stay strong and fight through it.
You'll be good.
There's no promises, but I'm going to try my best.
I messed this one up. That first night when you're laying in the hospital room and the baby starts crying, you do not say, "Let her cry it out."
No, not
because I did that. And she said, "She's 3 hours old." And I said, "Honey, we got to start now."
She doesn't know what I like.
I'm like, we got to start now. We can't be soft on these kids. So don't do that because I did, and it didn't go well.
That is remarkable. I remember sitting there in our first night on the little couch thing.
Whatever the thing is,
it's not a couch. It's not a bed.
A
It's
metal
just
bar right down the middle of your back is what
it
that
doesn't
is.
feel great, but whatever. You're not the star of the show. Again, remind yourself of that when you're in that situation. I was listening to Lord of the Rings, like on tape, like the book. I'm just holding him. And then they had like Gollum's voice come on there, and he just started freaking out. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be listening to this while he has never heard a human voice in his life that is that scary. And I'm like, yeah, they're all learning lessons. We're learning.
I'll play a John Rothstein podcast to get her already hooked on college basketball.
Yeah, you're going to be. Just play-by-play from Paul Keats.
There we go.
She'll
That's
love
right.
that. What do you got for us tonight, buddy?
So we do have some shocking news that we had some officials making a mistake. However, this one is probably pretty big. According to Brett McMurphy, the Big 12 announced its officials in Saturday's border war game between Kansas and Missouri allowed a punt to occur on a free kick in violation of Rule 2, Section 16, Article 6 of NCAA football rules. That Big 12 officiating crew has been removed from its next scheduled assignment this Friday. Is this a proper punishment?
I always thought it was a punt.
I didn't think it should be a punishment. I thought you were allowed to punt. I thought you could punt or kick off.
And then I saw Eli Drinkwitz, big brain visor guy, come out and say, basically, we thought they were having a bad game. One of our coordinators came out, our like special teams coordinator came up to me and said, "Let's see if we can get away with this." And then they tried it, and the refs didn't say anything. So we were like an unruly child, basically in the game. They knew that it was against the rules. But then they tried it anyways and said, well, people are having trouble fielding the punts because of the angle of the sun. So we just decided to try it knowing that we were going to get penalized.
Yeah, get a 5-yard penalty, whatever.
Yeah, because it was illegal, and they let it happen, and then all hell broke loose.
Well, I had no idea. I got to freshen up on my rules there.
You got to dive into the rule book
Section
there.
2, whatever. What was that again? Yeah, text me that so I can really dig into that later.
Rule 2 and Section 16, Article 6.
Honestly, I didn't know that either.
I thought you could do either. I thought
you
it was
and I were
your
talking
choice.
about this before the show started. I'm like, I thought it was always a punt or a free kick, like whatever you.
Yeah, I thought it was whatever you wanted.
Whatever you wanted to do.
Whatever you want.
It's a safety, so you were getting punished for having to kick the ball off to the other team, but. Yeah, I guess Eli Drinkwitz knew exactly this happened, and I'm guessing that ref crews around the country will have their eye on whether or not...
They're going to be freshening up on Rule 2, Section 16 tonight as well.
Yeah, I think there was probably a memo sent out to college football referees all across the country. What else you got for us, Reimer?
So, for some reason, ESPN put out an updated SEC quarterback ranking. Would you guys like to guess where Arch Manning is at in this?
Is he number one?
He's got to be number one.
No, he is not.
Oh, okay.
Wow. They're actually...
Is Garrett Nussmeier number one?
Nope.
John Mateer?
John Mateer is number 2.
Bo Prabula?
Bo Prabula is number 1.
Former Penn State quarterback, which we made a big deal about him leaving Penn State before the playoffs last year.
You will find Arch Manning 7th in this list.
They really soured on our boy.
Did you watch any of the Texas game on Saturday?
I saw some highlights, but
his throwing
the one throw across the middle, it looks like he's in pain.
Again, you're the quarterback here. The throwing mechanics.
My shoulder makes my face look like that now. Not back then, though. That's now.
I don't know. The throwing mechanics looked a little off. It looked off in the Ohio State game, and maybe that was just time and place, but I figured getting back home against San Jose State that everything would be okay. It still looked a little wonky. They didn't have a problem with San Jose State. They won.
Yeah, but I thought they'd win. I thought they'd win bigger.
Yeah, 59-0.
Yes,
or something like
along
that.
those
Something
lines.
along the lines of like a 70-0.
And I think his stat line was fine at the end of the game and whatnot, but it was just, I think the reporters asked Sarkisian about that, and he's just like,
Well, He said
something about them going to the bathroom. Like, I don't have videos of you guys going to the bathroom to see what faces you make.
Yeah, like that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what that means.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't know. The one throw I saw looked like he was grimacing a little bit, but
yeah. And again, you might be going through problems, whatever, fighting through it.
Yeah.
What did you make of John Mateer on Saturday night against Michigan? Because I like him a lot. Like, it's fun. I don't know if it's good or bad, or if Oklahoma fans like exactly the way that he plays, but as a neutral, I was enjoying him running around and making all kinds of plays.
I think if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're happy to get that win the way they did. So, however it gets done, however the quarterback looks, you take it and go with it. But it's a confidence builder, early in the season too. So I imagine he'll just continue to, go out there and play free and have some fun and run around and make plays.
Got more weapons around him and has a coordinator now to do some things. And I apologize to Oklahoma for not believing them early in the season.
Well, it was Michigan, so let's not get too carried away.
You're right. Jay-Z had a great time tonight. Let's do it again Saturday late night, post game for OU. All right?
Oh, yeah. I'll be here.
Everybody have an awesome night. Murph Dog is with me tomorrow, Patrick Murphy, for a full 2-hour show. We got some hockey talk. The Inside Edge is up next on The Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
It's always a good day at the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. September 18th through 21st at the Scarlet Course. PGA Tour's rising stars compete, Hub 13 drink specials, and more. Get free tickets today at ncc-golf.com.
Hi, I'm Coach Ryan Day, and I've seen firsthand how tough and resilient kids can be. But I've also seen the struggles that aren't always visible. Mental health challenges are real. That's why I'm proud to partner with the Kids Mental Health Foundation. Together, we're helping parents, teachers, and coaches talk to kids about mental health before there is a concern or crisis. Start making kids' mental health a part of every day with free tools and resources at kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org.
Realtors usually charge you 6% to sell your house, but not my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They take 1%. It's in the name. And this is full service. No shortcuts, no for sale by owner crapola. They do it all. Call 614-451-6616.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive. Save time, reduce costs, and eliminate printer frustrations with Modern Office Methods, your award-winning managed print services provider. We know how to help your business reduce the cost of office printing by identifying necessary print and paper waste. We can improve your printer fleet and decrease the amount of printer frustration. Why wait? Start saving time and money today. Start with our comprehensive print fleet assessment by going to momnet.com and click on Free Assessment.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.